Okay, Brandon, remind me what is the dog's name again? I think you've told me like 5 times this semester.
His name is Cyrus.
Iris. Okay. It's like you just said my name. Oh. My dog is currently, I don't know if I can, I have this little, let's see if I don't lose everything here. Can you see her? She's under my desk. This is where she sleeps
Yeah, I can see her.
when I'm home. She is like right under, she likes it when I sit at my desk. Tracy, there is no present PowerPoint tonight.
I saw that. And I didn't even ask. I just assumed that I was correct. And wow, that's not usually safe. But yeah,
Because you all are presenting this evening.
yes, that's the connection I made. So, and we used to have a little Yorkie that was right under my feet all the time until my husband would get home. And then I was toast. Wanted nothing to do with me if Charles was here. That was it.
Oh,
And I thought, well, okay, I was a stand-in. I was a warm body.
did you all have a good spring break?
Oh, yes. I have a question real quick on these presentations. I don't have all the items here because I use them.
Mm-hmm.
And
As long as
and the
you have,
teachers use
yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Did
we'll
you?
just be able to share our presentation, right?
Yes, you'll share your presentation, whether
Perfect.
you took pictures and put them in a Word document or put pictures and put them in a presentation. You'll just share that and everybody will be able to see what it is.
Perfect.
And then my goal is to grade them as we go. Now, I said that last time when you all presented, and then I realized that was a
Challenge.
challenge. But I feel like I can do it this time because it's not like 3 different assignments, it's one assignment.
Missy, what if you don't have pictures, but you have all the things?
That's good.
Is
That
that
is
okay? Okay,
fine.
good.
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that.
And maybe if you haven't taken pictures, you might do that.
Okay.
Because I feel like this might be something you all are going to want to use for your portfolio later.
Okay. All right.
So taking pictures for that will be a good thing. So if you don't have pictures for your assignment today, be sure to do it maybe before next week.
Okay.
Get the pictures added, okay? That
Okay.
sound fair?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Yes.
See, I was wondering, my slinky that I used for my kit is pretty tangled up now.
Oh, I'm pretty good at detangling slinkies. You get pretty good at that when you deal with a lot of slinkies in your life.
My grandson got a hold of mine too.
That's the issue with slinkies.
Except for the middle ones are better. So some of my items that I have in my presentation, were in better condition yesterday than they are now because my dog decided to take a bite out of one of my favorite items.
Katie, are you using the excuse the dog ate the homework?
No, I woke up this morning to find shredded pieces of foam all over the floor. And I saved as much of the cake as I possibly could. But it works.
Bad
I'll
talk.
get another one from Dollar Tree, provided they still have more.
Yeah, the Dollar Tree is awesome. And the Target dollar bins, those are like the place, which they're not dollar bins anymore. They're like Target $3 bins, but in the $1.25 store, but it's okay. Those are my favorite places to go. I was at Target.
How do you want us to present? Do you want us to share our own presentations or are you
Yes.
gonna share? Okay, that works.
We'll let you all, I'll make you all. So I'm holding up a pinwheel that looks like a flower and it's yellow. This was at Target for, I think this was $1. And then this light up, I think this was $3. It has this fiber optic white string that comes out from it, and it's green and it lights up. I'm like, and look at the thing.
I
Perfect.
really, I'm wondering, is there any chance I might be able to feel your CVI kit the next time we're in person?
Yes.
Because the videos and pictures don't do them justice, so.
Well, it is a giant black bag of just a bunch of random stuff, and I just keep pulling stuff out. I call it my Mary Poppins bag. Brandon got to see it in action once.
But yes, this is the cake, and this is the sleepy, and it's kind of a lost cause right now.
Well, if you were, yeah, that Slinky does look like it's a hot mess. Okay, so for our agenda tonight, we are going to do a little discussion about spring break discussion boards, and then we will do our presentations. And if there's any time left, we're going to do some scenarios. And if you haven't messaged me for a reason why your cameras are off, if you don't care to turn them on, I would appreciate that. So, what did you all think about the movie Out of My Mind?
This is Lainey. I've seen it twice and I've cried both times. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
So this is Tom. I really enjoyed it. It's not the kind of movie I typically watch, but I did sit down and watch it with my wife, and who is a speech path. So she was literally all about it. She was like, "This is the best movie." So we enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. There were a couple times where we were both like, "That's not how an IEP meeting should work, especially not with that kid. That kid can advocate for herself."
Yes.
And we were like angrily like watching as like people were like, "No, she's just stupid. She can't do anything." And it's like, "Well, are you stupid?" Like, because clearly no.
Yes,
But
yes, they were.
This is Misty. So I have to remind myself that this was probably from the 90s where this story was taking place, but I
it was
hope that,
2002.
oh, look at it. So it made me feel So at the end of the movie, I was very disappointed that there wasn't like, and they filed a lawsuit. Like that's where I was like, why
That's
did
what
you
I
not?
kept thinking. Why is this continuing to go on? This is not legal.
This is Tracy. It was a rainy day, I think right before spring break started, and I had my two youngest grandchildren, and I said, "Oh, there's a movie I have to watch for my class." And when I said the title of it, my fourth grade granddaughter said, "Oh, we're reading that book in class. Yes, I want to watch it." And we didn't get all the way through it, and those two little boogers finished watching it without me. So I know they were so into it, and I loved it. I hated most of the adults in the movie.
Yeah, the neighbor. That was like
I
my favorite
loved.
person, right?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it was between her and Dr. the girl that got everything going. It was between those two that were my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was this is Tom again. I was livid that the bad guy was a social studies teacher. Because like we study history, and throughout history there are instances where someone is maimed or disabled in some way to like stop them from doing a thing. And like I think Brandon can probably attest to this too, having been a social studies teacher. Every time it happens, like there's always a faction that goes, "What are you even doing right now, Richard the Third? Stop! Leave those boys alone. Like you're robbing us of a King Arthur." So like the fact that the social studies teacher was the bad guy, I was just angry, like at that. But I get it.
And they just leave her. They don't even invite her to eat at the end. Like,
This is Alyssa. That's what I was about to say was like the whole Whiz Kids, how she missed it. Like, that's just crazy to me that they just like forgot to invite her and then like didn't let them know of the plans. Like, I don't know. That was just so crazy to me. Like, that wasn't even any of like the legal IEP, like any of that. That was just a matter of inviting someone to eat with them. Like that was just crazy to me.
But
Like
this is,
morals.
This is Olivia. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
I'm using headphones, which is new. Yeah, that drove me crazy. Like, she won the competition for them, and then they still do all that. Like, what else could she have done? I mean, it was awful, even if she'd been like a mediocre player. But she was so great, and they still treated her like that. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope they
Yeah, I
lost.
loved it. It drove me crazy. But
This is Lainey. I thought the teacher should have been fired because he didn't even grade hers, you know,
Yeah.
from the get-go.
Well, I mean, this is Tom, and I mean, think about how the principal reacted to that researcher from the college. She wasn't going to fire him. She didn't want those kids at her school. She didn't want to have to like deal with IEPs and ARC meetings. She wanted them to go to the trailer, shut up, do their finger paints, and go away. Like they were a funding source for her and nothing else.
This
And
is
she should have been kicked in the neck.
I love it. This is Dr. T. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So if you guys could go back 20 years, I think you would find that this movie very much represented how many of our kids were treated, both mainstream issues and disciplinary issues and inclusionary issues. We've come a long way and we still haven't come far enough, but if this movie happened 20 years ago, indeed, that's the way things were. And now today, we wouldn't have accepted that, no. But back then, it was just tippy-toeing into all these rights. And, Kara and everything was just coming about. And so KERA indicated that we needed to treat them different, and we would would be held accountable. But that's not how it always was, guys.
But I can say 20 years ago, I didn't accept that. And now I see maybe why I wasn't very well liked by some.
yeah.
But I know that was not going to fly. But I agree with you. It was that way, unless somebody was fighting.
But we were the minority. Us fighters were the minority.
See,
Right.
this is
Oh,
Tom
I
again.
felt that. I felt being the minority.
That was one of the things that I didn't really understand. Like I had the benefit of I went to a high school where that wasn't accepted. So like it was blowing my mind that like it's 2002 and like this is how you're treating this student. Like cuz I remember being in high school in 2002 and even
Not
like
nice. No
our
one wants to hear that, right, Dr. T?
I
We
know,
don't want
right?
to hear that he was in high school.
Lainey,
Hey,
this is Lainey. Tom,
look,
shut up.
I had a kid in my 8th grade class that I remember being a baby when I was stationed with his dad in Hawaii. Like that was my old moment. So you all can just deal with this for a second. But like I remember like being in high school in 2002 and that not being the case. And I was a band kid and our band room was like right next to the FMD room. And like those kids were treated with like the utmost respect. Like if anything, like our special ed teacher was treating them better than the regular teachers were treating us. And like so it was really jarring to see something even set in 2002 where people were behaving that way because that's something I more associate with like the 80s and early 90s than anything else.
And
So like that was
Tom, you
blowing my
went to Scott
mind.
High School,
I
right?
did, yes.
In Kitten County. I just want to point
Yes.
it out to everyone. I
Yeah.
mean, we're pretty good.
It was Tracy being there 20 years ago
It was
and being
not.
like and being like we don't do things that way. So yeah,
I was in
it was
Boone
all
County
Tracy.
teaching at the time, but I would love to take credit. But I'm just saying, Northern Kentucky, we're pretty good.
Yeah, Northern Kentucky's a great place. I like it there.
This is Misty. I enjoyed reading all your discussion boards. My goal for you all to get out of this movie was to think about students. If you have a student on your caseload that does not have a communication system in place, you need to start asking questions because My biggest fear as a teacher was that there was a student that I worked with that had all this stuff up here in their brain that could not get it out because we failed them by not having a communication system. Okay, so think about your caseload and think about the students you're servicing and whether or not they have a form of communication. Okay, hopefully that's what you all have. I know we've hit that hard this class, but it is so important. The first step in anything is, can the student communicate their wants and needs? Okay. So now we're going to do our presentations. I'm just going to call on people as you all are on the screen. And I'm going to let Brandy go first. And then after that, I'm going to let Deanna go. So I'll tell who is up and who is next, okay? So you all can be prepared. And I want you all to pay attention, ask questions, and I am hopefully going to grade these as you go through. Oh, Olivia, are you in good service? I know you are.
Right now it seems pretty good.
Okay, so
I'm not
after
sure if I'm in
Deanna,
Ohio or where, but yeah, it seems pretty good.
okay, after Deanna, I'll let you go, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
This is Brandy. If Olivia needs to go, it's fine. I'm okay. Like, if it would be best for her to go first.
Yes. So I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right.
As
Thanks.
she freezes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so am I supposed to, are you ready for me to go ahead and
Yes,
begin?
let me
Okay.
give you power to share screen.
Do I need to go like through the reflection or the actual objects? Like I had the actual objects.
You can go through the actual objects, but if you don't have your pictures, you do have pictures up.
I have pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was saying I have the pictures already. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just show the pictures. You don't have to.
I can just show the pictures. Okay.
You can show
All
the
right.
pictures or the real objects, whatever you prefer.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You have the floor, Brandy.
Okay. Do you want me to share this? I don't see the thing that allows me to share.
So at the bottom, it should be an arrow pointing up that says share, or at least it's at the bottom on mine.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it's not big enough. That's it. I didn't have it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Is it? Yep. All right. Okay, so the first thing in my CVI kit that I try to always make sure I have, and I'm probably not the only one, is some sort of flashlight. So I have the picture of the flashlight there. The flashlight helps with numerous things, but my main goal with it is to spotlight things, especially if I have something that when you shine a little light on it, it will reflect and produce that movement. So that's the flashlight, the small flashlight. Then the second thing are these light up gloves that the tips of the fingers light up, and they can be on steady or they can flash. They can flash all at the same time. They can flash randomly. They have different modes on them, but they're fantastic because as you move your hands around, it captures your students who maybe need that light. It captures their attention, and like I have found, that I can move them like closer to my face. And although maybe we're still not looking at people's faces yet, but it at least like begins to get them to look in that direction and see your face and maybe pick up something out of off your face. My third object this is probably my favorite because with one of my students, it really seems to have made a big difference. We are working on, with one of my students, I'm kind of working on like one-to-one correspondence, putting one object in one like container or compartment. The goal is to move to like sorting silverware and putting silverware away and that kind of stuff. So I have this basket here that it has, I really wish it had, well, right now 6 is fine, but it has like 6 different compartments, and I have these puck lights, and I put the puck lights in the compartment so that the like each little area will light up and help guide their eyes to the to the area that we're wanting to put the block in, and so I can turn them off. It's also pretty cool because they work with a remote, so like I can turn them off and I can change the color to where colors are not as bright. As the student has progressed, we don't normally use the white light anymore. I use like a green or a blue just to light it up a little bit. So that's one of my favorites. And then I have the pinwheel. I have a student who is in the very beginning of phase 1 of CVI. She does not use her vision for very much at all. And when I first started, like it wasn't anything, but she really likes the pinwheel, and the pinwheel accompanied with the flashlight to spotlight the pinwheel. She really enjoys watching the pinwheel and the reflective aspects of the pinwheel. My uh my next object is a ball that lights up. This is not the best to use if the student has seizures, because it does only flash, like it doesn't have a steady on mode. But what I really like about it is it has a string on it. So like we can roll it across the floor and we can work on like scanning and tracking, or we can I can use it with other things, and I can work on like a shift gaze and that kind of stuff. And it's got this string, so we don't have to go chase it all the time. We can just pull it back rather than having to go chase it around the room if we were to throw it or something like that, or roll it across the table, those types of things. It's also, you kind of get like a 2-for-1 because it's spiky. The picture doesn't show it very well, but it's spiky, so we get that like sensory, a different feel because the ball is spiky. The next object is a slinky, and I either use it with some sort of flashlight or one of my puck lights, or just on a light box. And the kids, one student in particular, he really enjoys the slinky, and just I guess watching how it how the light changes and that kind of stuff as he uses it and moves it around. My next object is a mirror. We've learned that faces are very complex. So although like the 2 students, well, actually 3, I do use this with 3 students. I don't have any of them necessarily looking in the mirror yet to see their face. Well, one does sometimes, but the other 2, they kind of just look in it to see the light reflecting in it. But at the same time, as they progress on that CVI through the CVI phases, then by looking in the mirror and looking at the light, they will start to see the face and the different complexities of it. So that's my mirror. I've also got a swirly mat. It is a homemade one. It's not one of the APH ones. A lot of my stuff like has previously been used, so I don't know if the APH ones are better when they're brand new, and it's just because mine are not new, but I don't really like them, so I made my own. And I just made it out of hair gel. I mean, I'm sure you've looked it up to see how to make them, but we put that on the light box. And you know, the kids push the gel and the stuff around, or I do, depending on which student I'm working with, so that they can watch it and look at it, and it provides a visual target for them. And then also, again, I like the idea of the sensory, although we're not putting our hands in it and really feeling it. It's typically cool to the touch because of the hair gel. And this one has like confetti in it, but I have some that have like beads in it. So like we can, you know, the bead obviously feels different. It's hard rather than just soft and squishy. So we have the different feels, the different textures there as well. The most versatile thing besides my flashlight that I try to never go to one of my students without is this black mat. And I actually think it's like it may be like a floor mat for a car. I don't really know what it was originally because somebody gave it to me. But what's fantastic about it is, first of all, it folds up and you can fold it up like so it's not as big as, and but not that the small all-in-one board isn't bad, but it's just not as big. Like I can fold it up and stick it in my CVI bag. And like it works with like Velcro. So all I got to do is just make sure whatever I want to put in it has some Velcro on it and it sticks wherever I want it to stick. And then my last thing there is some bubble letters. This is one of the sight words that I work with. I have some students who are higher on this in CVI phrases. They have more their eyes are seeing more things, and we do work on letters and sight words. So my bubble letters are a thing that we use there, and they provide some contrast, some good contrast, and yeah, help them with that. So there you go. There's my CVI kit.
Those
I
Misty.
appreciate that black mask
Yeah.
as well, Brandy.
Yeah,
I
it's
appreciate
totally
the heck out of it.
versatile, isn't it? I mean, you can use it for whatever you need to use it for.
Like displaying my tactile cards because I forgot something to display them on.
So Brandy, this is Misty. I think you can get those black mats like that at the Dollar Tree.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's really nice is they do like Velcro will stick to them too.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yeah.
if you
Okay.
have to let someone borrow
Well,
it for their
okay.
tactile card.
Okay, thanks. Regina Quaid gave it to me. I think like the first time she came down to see me. So yeah, it's definitely been it's been fantastic for me. Because at that time I didn't even know what an all-in-one board was. So it's been wonderful.
Yes, great. And those light up gloves, that is like my go-to. If I couldn't get a student to look at anything, the light up gloves were the one thing that they would
Yeah.
look for. So great job. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Deanna, do you care to stop sharing? Brandy, does anybody else have
Yeah.
questions for Brandy? No, I like the pucks too. That was nice. The red
I'm
basket.
probably just gonna show the objects if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so I have like a variety of some just miscellaneous items in my kit. I would say they're not necessarily for an activity. They might be for more for to set up the environment. So just like Brandy had her black mat, I have a large piece of black fabric so it can cover any work surface to make that high contrast and lower the complexity of the environment. You can also use it as like a backdrop. That's how big that one is. But then I typically will also use for a black mat is the felt board from APH that comes with the Word Playhouse or like the Wheatley tactile maker. I also have scissors with black construction paper so that if I have to cut any pictures out, if I need to make any window masks for the if the student is at that phase 3, you know, you can use your paper to cover up and mask certain parts of the page or focus in on one word. This was a clipboard that I got with the Vista Quest base kit that I purchased. It's real nice because it also has a black felt background, just an even smaller one. So if you're taking notes and you need to display something, it's a quick go-to. And I also always keep one of the black cubicle storage organizers so that you can put items into the bin in order to elicit more visual attention specific to that item. We have a flashlight, and this flashlight does have 4 different colors, and then you can make the beam wider or smaller. It's white, blue, green, and red. So this is always something that I use. You can use it for spotlighting, to hone in on things, to draw their attention to a specific area. I also have some light up glasses that either the person working with the student could wear. I think there's 3 different. It might be hard for you guys to see. It's like a solid and then a strobe and then a quicker flashing. The student working with the person working with the student could wear them, or the student could wear them. And this is where you can then pair in with a mirror if the student is wearing them, and you can talk about some of those facial features and getting them to hone in on certain parts of the face. And because the light up objects are like the most fun, I also have the I can get it to turn on. The gloves that this one isn't turning on. Let's see. The gloves that turn on. And I did try these. I remember the very first time I tried them with a student, he was like trying to rip them right. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe. And then the other light up object that I have are these submersible puck lights. They can be red, green, blue, or white, but you can put them in water. It came with that fancy kit that I got. I also thought if, when working with students with CVI, we always want to tie in our overlays to their daily routine. So I even thought like putting this on the end of a cup or getting them to draw the attention somehow to the top, the cup, instead of having like the red Mylar bowl. Yeah. And then these ones can strobe, fade out, or they can just be original. And that did come with 3 of them. For another reflective object, the pinwheel. You can pair this with the flashlight. You could pair it with a fan to do some cause and effect, like with the sensory learning kit. Linkies, I do have like an old school one, and then a fancier one. I do like the idea of putting the light in, and I know there's like a video on it that shows how you can make it so that it then illuminates up. And then again, with that black background, you can put these on that background or the smaller APH one. This I also like, it came from the kit. It's an arm bracelet that you can put on the student, or you can wear it. It's reflective, kind of like a slinky, but a slinky that you can wear. And then you can make noise, so it does get that auditory scent as well as the tactile scent too. I have putty in my kit, and I would typically use the putty, like if we were, I don't think I showed you guys this one. I would use it to outline salient features of some of the objects that I would be using with my students. So this is a little red bird that comes with the kit as well. You can pair this with the mirror. It does make sound, you know, you can work on visual skills with it. Perhaps you put the putty on around the beak, honing in on that feature of the bird. Then you have another bird and you put putty on the beak of that bird. So I would use this more as like a highlighting type, highlighting of those salient features. I also have different complexity mats. So I typically use this more for assessment purposes. On one side, I start with the black mat and I just have one object, a brightly colored object, trying to see how far they can go before it becomes too much for them. And then on this side, there's black with small little circles. And so then I would put objects on that side and see if they could locate them. Then it gets a little bit more busy with black with sprinkles. And then a little bit busier. And then finally to this one. And then I usually would have pom-poms, like the reflective pom-poms, or sometimes I use like those small little ducks or those gadgets that you get, that my kids will get from the little candy machines. For them to try to find cubes. You could even do Cheerios, goldfish,
Loops.
whatever kind of works with the kid and what will motivate them. Came with the Vista Quest kit. It's called a thunder drum. So once you like let that go and you shake it, you can make noises. I just thought that one was pretty. And I have a very simple pegboard book. And this one is just with spoons. So I think about it as like if we were reading the book, the Dr. Seuss book, we have one spoon, then we're moving to two spoons. Then we have a big spoon, a small spoon, and then you end with a red spoon. So just to build concepts, it's very basic, but clearly you can make them so that they go with experiences or maybe a routine of a routine during the day. And then lastly, something I like to use is the complexity pegboard from APH. And what I had to do with one of my students, I highlighted it with the reflective tape to kind of give them that cue on where to put the peg. And then I like to use it on a light board, and you can put a colored overlay as well. So then that also, the light will also give them the clue, but you can work on a lot of things, patterns, in out, lots of concepts, one-to-one correspondence. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's
Deanna, my grandson walked in. I'm sure you could see his face in there, but he saw when you held up the red square thing and he goes, "It's Roblox."
I mean, I do have two boys, but that's Are there any questions? So a lot of the materials came from that kit, and it is phenomenal because it starts out at a phase 1, but then it gives ideas up to like a phase 3. And so you just start with the basics, and then you can always add on to it. And then everybody on the team is kind of all on the same page is what I like most about it.
Love it. Deanna, thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh.
Olivia, and then Tom, you'll be next.
All right. Perfect. We're
Okay.
sitting in traffic and I think I have good internet. So we'll share my screen. All right, let's see. Hopefully this works. Yeah.
If it
All
doesn't
right.
work, I can pull it up on my end.
Okay.
And then you can
let's
just tell
see.
me to turn, but this seems okay, but I'm seeing my face.
Oh, you're seeing your face? Okay, let's see.
That's okay.
All right. All right. 1 second. Share my screen. Share audio. Okay. Can you guys see my screen at all? Probably not.
Yes, we can see it.
You can? You can see the,
And we can see Misty. It's all great.
and you can see this. Okay. All right. Well, good. All right. So the items in my kit, first is this tent. It's just a pop-up tent. It's single color. So if we're in a really busy environment, because I know my current classroom, it's busy, even though I don't have much up on the walls. Just the other students and all the activity can be very stimulating. So going in here to kind of cut out a lot of the stimulation and try to help the student focus as much as possible and minimize the clutter and the things that are requiring their attention. Um, this seemed like a really good thing to have, and I already had one that I only use like once in a blue moon, so it seemed like a good thing to give a new purpose to and to use with students with CVI to help, again, like minimize all the things that are calling their attention and distracting them. Some pinwheels, both a shiny one and a purple one, just to kind of see if one, if they have a color preference to purple, or if the shiny one with the light helps to grab their attention, and how they might be attracted to the movement and use that to focus their attention. Okay, I bought the gloves because they were so highly recommended, and I love how they come in a package that says like rave gloves. So I'm ready to go if I ever go to a rave also. But they seemed extremely useful and very fun for working with students. Just using it to grab their attention, focus them on certain things. A good old fashioned metal slinky, using that movement, uh, combining it with light to grab attention, and maybe even using it to encourage visually guided reach so that they can move it and they can get that kind of cause and effect and that interaction with it. A black folder and black paper, like Deanna was saying, to cut up obscure parts of an activity, reduce some clutter, just like a quick and easy way to kind of minimize the field of what they need to attend to and give their visual attention to. A bunch of so some light up toys. One of those is a top that lights up when you spin it, and the rest are just the balls. Like Misty said, the Dollar Tree is such a treasure trove of great items. So it's nice that there are 3 different colored balls, so you can kind of see if there is a color preference for the student, but otherwise getting that combination of light as well as movement and using whichever one is working. And if we need to use it for visual tracking skills, it's perfect for that. And then some red glasses, the red nose, and some yellow gloves. Those are like just yellow cleaning gloves. Different things to highlight the face, to give that student that high contrast to attend to facial features better. And then the gloves, they just seem like a handy thing to have if you need that bright color to point to things in front of them or to draw their attention that way. If my rave gloves are just too much, maybe sometimes you got to scale back and just use some regular yellow gloves instead. Also, a series of flashlights, a puck light, a flashlight, and then I really like the light that's actually on in that picture. It's just it's got a light switch on it, and that's how you turn it on. And it's really nice and bright, but I like that practicing the switch, using it for cause and effect, and now we even know how to turn it into an actual switch for a device. So I could see that being really motivating to a student and being a great switch. But just all kinds of lights to gain attention and to work on like tracking, spotlighting, all those important skills. And then like Deanna, I also have a fabric that's a cluttered back. One of the sessions I went to at KAER was a great, I guess, kind of like collaborative session where everyone in the room just, worked on some different brainstorming strategies for all the great things that we use to take around and assess students on different things. And they specifically talked about fabrics that look like jelly beans and then placing real jelly beans on it and seeing if the students could, find the jelly beans on the cluttered background. So I couldn't find jelly beans, but I think this is still very, very cluttered, would be very good for assessing students who are possibly in phase 2 or 3. But after seeing what Deanna had, I want to find, some stair steps, something in between this very highly cluttered to some things that are less cluttered so that can kind of assess students at all levels. Because the last thing in my kit is just a black sheet and a yellow tablecloth used to like reduce that clutter, minimize the things that the students have to put, give their attention to, and see what they can find when it's as simplified as possible. A black one and a yellow one, just depending on what objects you have and what kind of contrast you need. The yellow tablecloth does have some texture, so maybe one day I'll find something that's completely solid, but I figured having that in my kit could be handy from time to time. So, stop sharing. Okay, that is everything in my CVI kit. Any questions for me? Oh, wait. Okay, I have no idea. I felt like I was talking to myself sometimes, but hopefully you guys got that all. I don't know.
This is Misty. It was
You're good.
Okay, good.
I love the yellow rubber gloves. I'd never thought of using those, but I mean, you can get a whole box of them, and it keeps your hands clean if they slobber or,
Good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
great job.
Thanks.
Okay, Tom is next, and then Emily Johnson. Yep, thumbs up.
All right.
Okay, Tom, let me
Okay.
make you hold on, I'm gonna make you
Well, I'm
code.
just showing my items, so you don't need to
Okay.
do that. I'm working off my PowerPoint, but I don't have pictures in it yet because I waited till payday the other day to buy my stuff. So I haven't taken pictures of anything yet. So one of the first thing and I have more than 10 things. But the first thing I have is black party tablecloth. Where I've got my blur on. Hold on. Let me turn the blur off so that you guys can see the absolute disaster my lab is right now. I have black tablecloth for contrast. I would probably use this in a permanent location. I do have like black spandex material in my classroom right now that I use to model space-time. That it's real stretchy, so you can like put stuff in it and roll it around and stuff. It's very cool. But I would probably carry that stuff with me more than I would carry a series of black tablecloths. But this is just for contrast. Sorry, I'm going down my checklist here so I can see what's next. Okay, next, I actually love this stuff notionally, but I hate it in practice. It's that Easter shred. I hate this stuff. It gets everywhere. I will not be opening this bag in my house. I believe everyone is familiar with it, but this stuff is red, which is an often preferred color. They had it in a bunch of different colors, and also it is reflective, which is very nice for that. Next up, I have not one, but two pinwheels. This one is a standard looking pinwheel, very interesting visually. So that's fun. And then this one is a little flower that spins sideways. And I've never actually seen one like this before. This one is slightly more reflective than this one, but neither of them are the nice metallic ones. They didn't have any of those at the Dollar Tree when I went, the $1.25 tree. But I do have these, so that's nice. Sorry, I feel like I'm like being weird about it. The next thing I have is it's like the swishy mat, but it's a face mask. And you can actually heat it up or ice it down and use it for some sensory work as well. Or they could just like sit and squish on it. It's not, I'm not in, 100% on like, oh, it has to be a face mask. If you want to just squish on it, by all means. The next thing, all right, this is one of my favorite things. Okay. I don't have a flashlight. I do have a lightsaber. All right, and right now this one is white, but they do come in other colors. I can change the crystal color in here to blue, green, red, purple, or yellow. And I do have other lightsabers as well, so you can use those. I figured like a pointing thing, like, okay, watch the light and come over here, like if you're doing like board work or something maybe. But again, this is notional. I am not a working TVI. I don't know how well that will work. I just like Star Wars. So if that's me being a complete idiot, please someone let me know. I just thought it would be fun, and maybe for some older kids, you could have a lightsaber fight as a reward for hard work. Next up, I have on a smaller scale, glow sticks. These come in multiple colors, so you can choose preferential colors. I would use these almost like you guys are talking about using the gloves, which I want a pair of. But you could point at these, use them to draw attention, things like that. Next up, I have one of the glow balls, just like Olivia had. This one happens to be the red one. I haven't cracked it open yet, but you can kind of see there's like glow sticks on the inside, and when you bash it on the floor, it lights up the whole ball, which is pretty neat. Let's see what's next. Okay, in the PowerPoint, I called it this thing because I don't know what this is, but it's jiggly, it's texturally interesting, it's squishy. If you put it on something like a black mat, you get really good contrast with it. So I felt like that was a really good thing. I have no idea what it is. It's this thing. Next up, I have modeling clay. So you could use this to like model letters or little animals or trace outlines or, like highlight tactile parts of objects that you want a kid to feel, was what I was thinking with this. Like, I don't know why, but my brain went to fire truck. And like, if I was like, okay, I want you to find like the wheels or something, like put the modeling clay around the wheel wells, so that they like have a tactile, like kind of guide for where they're supposed to be feeling, like a border almost. I don't know why I thought fire truck, but I did. Next up, I have fuzzy socks. Fuzzy socks. They didn't have any fuzzy ones in any colors other than like blue and pink, so I went with blue. That way I could maybe wear them. I do have fuzzy socks, which are nice. You could put those on a kid's feet. You could put them on your hands. There's several things you could do with that just to like add some like tactile feedback to a situation, or if they need something like to feel, you can do that. And then I have, of course, the classic red nose. I did not buy this. I got this from I believe it was Misty. Gave us these. So that's for face tracking. Like, look here. And then I have little tea lights. I have a mess of these. I thought you could use these like if you're doing table work and you're trying to like draw attention or highlight something, you could put them down and just use them on the table there. And then my last thing, for maximum violence on the rest of the school, I got a red recorder. Um, so I thought this would be kind of like a useful, like almost a reward, or like if they like oral things, this would be pretty fun. It's pretty simple to play. It sounds, I don't know if you guys could hear that at all. It's not an incredibly loud one by any means, so it's not maximum violence on the rest of the school, but I thought that would be like kind of a useful little thing to have in my kit. So that is all of my stuff.
Thanks, Tom. I had a question for you, and then it has left my brain because you kept talking and I kept thinking. Good job.
Tom, I also have one of those like kind of like squishy, like fuzzy guys. I think yours was it red? Because I've got a yellow one, and I call it a squiggler. So
Okay.
we might be able to coin that term.
Okay, I've been calling it a this thing, but I will put squiggler in my PowerPoint.
Okay, it's come back to me, the lightsaber. I get crazy looks when I have my pinwheel popping out of my CVI bag. So I cannot imagine the looks you will get carrying a lightsaber through a school.
At my school anyway, we had a parent complain once about something a teacher was wearing that was absolutely completely normal. And they were like, I don't understand why you let that teacher do that. And my principal was like, my science teacher sometimes carries a lightsaber. So I don't know what you want from me here. So at my school anyway, they're completely used to it. If I roll into Bell Central, I think Jennifer Blankenship would lose her mind, but I don't care about her opinion. So
Yeah. Sometimes TVIs, people don't understand. I've got my bag with my pinwheel hopping out, and I'm carrying the big old Perkins brailler that people think are typewriters. And they're like, what?
Well, that was kind of like, and again, I'm not a working TVI, so all of this is notional. I have no idea how it would play out in practice, but I was thinking as I was like looking at stuff and thinking about how I would use it, how my wife uses things. And she gets insane looks all the time. So I think that in our school district, people just expect that the Smiths are going to roll into school with something weird today, and everyone has just started to accept it. So, but again, it's notional. I might bring a lightsaber and be like, okay, now we're going to look at this thing and this thing and this thing. And then the kid doesn't do it and I have to like drop it entirely. But I just thought it would be like a fun thing to have in the box.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Tom. Okay, Emily Johnson, you're next. And then Brandon, how about you on deck? Yep, okay. Does anybody else have any preference that they want to go in like any specific order? Are you all good? Just being called on? You're good? Yeah. Chris Andrea, I'll wait till you're back home.
This is Katie. I'm also happy to go whenever. I have my PowerPoint ready to go.
Perfect. Thank you all for being so ready. Okay, Emily, I'm gonna mute myself. You go for it, girl.
Okay, funny story about the brailler though. We were watching I Love Lucy, and my youngest daughter Zaya goes, "Mom, look, she has a brailler." And That's not a brailler. But okay. Um, okay.
No,
So,
that's what old people used in high school because, there were no computers. We had typing class. And you rushed to be the first one into the class so you could get the only electric typewriter.
I don't think Zay has ever seen a typewriter. I don't think she's ever seen one, but she has seen multiple braillers. So she thought Lucille Ball had a brailler. Um, First, I have markers, orange and yellow, to highlight words that, if we're working on something with words that need to be their focus. I also have Post-it notes to like enclose an area that they need to focus on. So these are quick to go around something that they need to look at, just one thing. I have a pegboard. So I thought that first we would be working on movement and hand-eye coordination. So we'd start with the bright colors, do one color at a time, and then have them pull them out because it's easier to get them out than it is in. And then as we get more movement, pushing them in and then going to the colors. I also have a black book. Somebody gave this to me at one of the many things we've been to. But there's unlimited things like you could do with this. You could make a storybook kind of like we did, or you can use it to just teach anything or put contrast for something. Misty, I put in the thing that you guys let us make. So it's got the pinwheel and all the shiny things and the bells and the noise. I also have a light board. I will say this light board has seen better days. It has. It's been well loved. But I have this, and then I have a bunch of stuff to go with it. I have these movement things. You guys probably see this better with light. There's yellow, red, and it's fostering movement and hand-eye coordination to move those, and it's on the lot. And you can do their preferred color. I also have these that go with the light board, and I have multiple of each one. You could talk about household items. With these, there's hairbrush, toothpaste, and then there's multiple of them, so you could do matching and things like that with those. I also have numbers that go with the light board. You like these numbers, and then I have different shapes. So we could do matching with those. We could do counting, learning our numbers, all kinds of things, and bringing attention to those. I'm gonna turn the blackboard off. And then I also have these. Kids love these. At least the kids that I've been around love these. They have the movement in them. This is also, I feel like, fostering movement because I want them to turn it upside down when it stops. And visual tracking as they move. Watch the liquid go down.
Emily, this is Misty. These would be so cool in the light box.
Well, you can put them on the light box.
Yeah.
If you want to. This one stands up too. It's got things on it that stand up. I think I put that too in the PowerPoint. I'm not sure, but it stands up. It's got little things you could do that with it. There's red, green, yellow, blue, and purple. You can also use those as timers. I think these are 5 minutes. We also have 3-minute timers in preschool. I have an iPad. You could do so many things with an iPad with the black light on it. This is a school iPad. And then I have a game. It lights up. It does have noise, but then they have to follow the pattern. I'm sure some y'all have played this game, but they have to follow the pattern. I can't do this and look at the camera at the same time. Sorry. You could also work on memory with this, hand-eye coordination, movements, all the things. And then I don't have this because one of my kids has it, but the yellow tray and the black mat. I have multiple color mats. I also have red, and then there's blue in that one too. And that's it.
You, Emily, does anybody have any questions for her? No. Awesome. So there are all kinds of iPad apps too that you can use, like the fireworks that you touch the screen and the fireworks explode, and the what is it, Little Bear Seas? I don't know if we've talked about apps yet, but there are so many apps. I think I have Little Bear Seas on my phone. Or am I tap and see now? Little Bear Seas is what it says. And it's not gonna work because my iPad. You all can look it up later. It's free. And the bear just moves around, and you can make it other things too. It doesn't have to just be a bear, but when they tap it, the bear gets bigger, and then you can have some auditory feedback, like the bear might laugh or something. But it's really good for tracking, but also like it has the movement.
What was that called? Sorry.
Tap and see now. And it's like a little bear. I guess I thought it was Little Bear Seas. Maybe it's always been.
Missy, I think that is connected with the website or something. It's still, you're not losing it. You're right.
Okay.
I don't know if they just like I don't know, name, because I think the website, it still talks, I think it's still called Little Bear Seas.
Yeah. So it's an app. Thank you, Deanna, for reassuring that I'm not, that I don't know. And now my phone says it's not even gonna let me look at it. So I've screwed it up.
That's the only frustrating part with apps. Like, I have a bunch downloaded on my iPad, and then I feel like a lot of times I go to use them and then they don't work anymore. So it can be very frustrating, but that one is good.
Yes, the
Very
tap and
good.
see now.
Is
We can
that it?
change the size of it. Yep. Tracy's got it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Did you already have it on your phone, or did you just download it that quick?
Well, I searched it. I was going to download it, and you gave me the little cloud, so I must have already had it. So I just opened it.
There you go.
Things you didn't know you had.
Who's next?
It's gonna be Brandon, and then after Brandon, Katie, you can go, okay?
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank
this is Tom. Can I ask a question about the apps real quick? Are they free or are they paid apps?
The one that I just showed you that she was talking about, there's a free version and you can upgrade to the full version. But the piece I was showing you is part of the free version.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
would
I
it,
jumped in to answer that, but
sorry, would it like interrupt a kid with like a weird ad in the middle of a thing, or
No, the Little Bear Seas does not have ads that interrupt. I'm gonna think that I have just stunned Tom to silence right now. He's
all right,
frozen. There you go.
did I lose you guys? Sorry.
There
No,
are
I
no
forgot what I
ads.
was saying. It just like kicked out and I was like, wait, what? What happened?
No, the Little Bear Seas does not have ads. I
Okay.
don't know about the fireworks app.
Okay.
so this little bear sees, sorry, it's Tracy. I had another question. Tom, were you finished? Because I cut you off and I didn't mean to.
No, I think I got cut off by just living in the country, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, okay then. That's fine. So this would be really good for like the visual reach to touch, wouldn't it?
Yes, and you can edit it to make the bear bigger if kids have a harder time hitting things, and then you can make it smaller, and you can change. Yeah.
Because I noticed when you look me trying to tap it from the camera, when you actually tap it, then it gets bigger.
Yeah, but if you go to your arrow and hit edit, you can make it bigger, and you can make the speed faster or slower.
Oh, the settings. I see.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
You're
Little
welcome.
tutorial there for me. Thank you.
And then another resource, if you haven't turned in your resource kit,
What I did.
for next time. Okay, Brandon, let me make you co-host. Are you going to share your screen? Yep. Okay, you are all set.
Okay, so on mine, I've kind of broken it up into different sections. The first one's lighting, and so the first thing I have is a clip-on desk light. So it's got like the gooseneck, like like bar on it, and it clips onto the side of whatever it is that you are clipping it to. So it's right now it's clipped to a desk, but really I've seen these work well with like wheelchairs and trays and things like that. And this is just to control the lighting in a space. I've also got, let's see, I've also got a pin light, and so this is more for spotlighting. You can backlight very small objects. So like the squiggler that I talked about with Tom, I have actually just put it up to like a small flashlight like this, and it kind of creates a really nice glow, like a very soft yellow glow for mine. I also have a light box, and so this is a pretty big one. So this one's not part of a portable CVI kit. This one stays at a student's workstation, but this provides like an underlighting. It provides backlighting for activities and objects and papers and things like that they might be working with. I've also got colored overlays. These would be useful more for like a student who is like engaging with paperwork or is reading but still needs those like accommodations for CVI. In addition, something like a bright line reading guide. This is kind of cutting the difference between a like those colored overlays and the next one that I have, which is like blockout sheets. This gives you a little bit of that high contrast color, but also blocks out some information. So I think it would be very useful with a student with CVI. I've also got these block out sheets. So I have some that are pre-cut. I'm not the hugest fan of the pre-cut ones, but I also have just black construction paper there as well. So you can cut out and fold and do whatever you need to do with blocking out information for the student that you're working with. I've got a large screen iPad, and so we already talked pretty extensively about iPads and iPad apps, but Path to Literacy has a pretty good page on top 10 iPad apps for students with CVI, and so I've linked that. So that's a good place to find it, and I think that some of the ones you all have talked about were on there. I've got a reflecting spinning pinwheel, which we've talked about before, but that provides like that reflective, that movement. I would use it to gain a student's attention, especially if they were kind of low on the CVI range. I've got a large print yellow keyboard that I just started working with a kid, and they absolutely adore it. The kid that I am working on typing with, he has autism, and so we talked about the kind of the crossover between a lot of the characteristics of CVI and autism. So he doesn't have a CVI diagnosis, but I think that this is something for the higher functioning students with CVI, the ones that are going to be doing some academic work. I think a adaptive keyboard like that would be really good for them. Then I've also got a power select, which we talked about in our in-person meetings and things. And so this can just be used with various types of switches to give students with more complex needs more autonomy over their environment and more agency in kind of participating in activities they generally wouldn't be able to participate in without such. Okay, and so that is my CVI kit.
Thank you, Brandon. I included that link that you had in your presentation in the chat box. am also on Amazon, you can get stickers that are yellow to go on keyboards as well. It's a little bit harder to place than just having an adaptive keyboard like you have, but I was going to try to show you those. Let's see here. If you just Google if you just search on Amazon, large lettering keyboard stickers, and you'll see like you can just stick them on top of someone's keyboard. So I did that once for a student, just to make the keyboards a little bit easier to see. I know it's a lot of motor memory that we're wanting them to get to with typing and keyboarding, but sometimes just having that keyboard that's a little more accessible makes all the difference. Good job. And I like how some of these things are for like the later phases. Oh, thank you. Okay, Katie.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Okay. I've made you co-host.
One second. And let's see to select the screen. So, okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna switch back to PowerPoint. And I made my PowerPoint high contrast for visual contrast. So the first thing is like the red nose and red lip gloss. It's like a red lip cream to draw attention to the face. Then this is I have things like organized. So this is assisted reach. And in assisted reach, I think I forgot to put the descriptions for this particular slide, but I can go back and fix that later. I have, sorry, I have alt text for all my images though. So brightly colored layered squishy cake for, it looks great on high contrast, like a black background and the white cake with different colors on it. Kids can see the bright colors and reach for it and squish it. That's the one I was talking about that my dog decided she wanted to take a bite out of. Um, the bright orange dice. This is kind of cool because I got these dice from the Dollar Tree and I added the tactile dots so that you can feel the different dots and numbers on the dice. And then, what's the other thing on this? This, this is the motion side with the pinwheel and the slinky and kind of what Tom called the thing that's hard to describe. It's a bright like yellow neon squishy crawly thing. It's got like different texture and you can move it like it's when you squeeze it, it changes shapes kind of thing. Sorry, my voice is getting scratchy. Um, this one. This is for like visual tracking. So I have like red yarn and red pipe cleaner for texture. And then the lights, so the light up ball and the flashlight. And this orange green AARP thing that you see here, I actually have that in my hand. And it's kind of like a wristband that you can wrap around your wrist or around the water bottle or something random. And it has different like light options for like solid or flashing, and it's very reflective, so it's really catchy, but it's great for high contrast and drawing attention. Visual clutter. So I have this like super cool quilt that has like different dogs with cluttered fabric and different textures, a bright orange bandana with contrast and visual clutter. And then I have the black fabric. That's the simple black fabric just for high contrast. The upright and catchy. I got this like it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like a like what you would find on the top of a present or party confetti kind of thing. Got this from the Dollar Tree. It kind of makes a lot of noise, but when you put it on the table, it's great. It's curly, it's touchy, it's shiny, and the Mighty Grail beads. That's all I have. Thanks.
Katie, this is Misty. I love that bracelet.
I want to know where you got that bracelet.
I
I
did
got
too,
it.
Katie. This is Lainey.
Go ahead.
It's Tracy too.
Yeah, Tracy asked where you got it. This is Lainey. I was going to ask you the same thing. That was really cool.
It's kind of interesting. I got it for free from a Earth Day Fest. And I'll try to see if they're handing out more this year and save some for you guys if any of you want some. But like
Tracy wants one. Tracy wants one.
totally okay. I really like them because like if you have vision loss and you're walking outside at night, it's really great that other people are able to see you for your own safety kind of thing. So you can wrap it around your cane. You can encourage students to use it in dark settings so people know where they are. So it's interesting because it was at the AARP table for retired people, but it's awesome.
AARP, I'm a member. I should have found that.
Like it has the AARP logo on it, and like it's pretty awesome for that.
Yeah, but
I think I also mentioned the light up ball that I have too. I don't remember if I did, but I would not use this for kids with seizures. But again, it's pretty awesome. Different texture too.
also the quilt with the dogs on it. Where did you get that from?
It's online from Amazon, I think. But it's like $70 and I just found it and I'm like, this is perfect for my CBI kit, but I'm not spending that kind of money on it. So I just kind of borrowed the picture.
Okay, I was about to say, because that dog, the pictures of the dog on there look just like my dog. So
I'll send you the link if you want it.
$70 is kind of expensive for a blanket.
But Misty, I think there's like Etsy or something that they'll use pictures of your dog and create the blanket for you. I don't know what it costs, but just letting you know.
Yeah. Thank you. Good job, Katie. Anybody else have questions for Katie? No? Okay. Okay. Chrisandria, is that good for you to be next? And then Macy will be on deck. Okay. And let me make you co-host.
You don't have to. I have all my stuff, so I'll just hold it up.
Okay. And let me make you so I can just.
Is it okay to start?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I have a light box first. So we know the light box has an even source of light and it's continual light source, and you can work on visual guided reach. It provides that backlighting. So you can they can focus on different objects on the light box. And then I have these light box shapes with like they're in CVI colors like red, yellow. And you can use these on with the light box to work on like matching, sorting by color. You could also work on visual guided reach with these. There's a lot of different activities you could do with these. So I use this with one of my students. an MSD student who has CVI. Next. Okay, next. Have the all-in-wood board. So, of course, this is black, so we know black eliminates visual noise, visual complexity, provides high contrast. So these are great. And one side's completely, well, I'm sure everyone's seen these. One side's black, one side's white. You can do a lot of different activities on this because you can use Velcro pieces, so you could work on visual guided reach, things like that. I have a student that prefers this side, so we do like matching shapes and things like that on this side. I like this board too because it's mobile and you can, move it around in their preferred field. All right, next. Oh, on repeat, I have the nose and the pom-pom. So this is CVI friendly colors to draw attention to the face if I'm talking to the kid. And it also has the little mylar palms at the top, which we know that those are very CVI friendly. I think Misty gave this to me at the one of the classes of that. Oh, I have my little active learning thing that we made in class. So again, CVI friendly colors, the Mylar, it's shiny, provides movement, which we know CVI students are mostly drawn to. Just pretend I don't have any bells on here, because I know sometimes that can be hard for some CVI students if there's noise and visual stimuli, but they were out on the table, so I put them on there.
But they're Mylar, so that's good.
Yeah, and you can work on visual guided reach, tracking, movement with this. All right. Of course, another repeated item, a flashlight for spotlighting, to draw the eyes in to focus on specific objects. And you could use this with tracking. If you shine the light, I have a student, I'll put it behind her head and hold up. She likes the shiny stuff like this. This is one of her favorite things to look at, just a little Mylar thing from Dollar Tree, and she'll track it. And you can kind of tell their preferred field doing that and things like that. All right, then I have, the famous light up gloves. Again, these are really nice. I like that they have different settings so you can kind of see what they prefer. If it's like the blinking lights, if they don't have seizures, the blinking lights or the constant stream of light, they have different settings. Kids really like these, and it really draws their attention. You can work on several different things with this and movement. All right. Then I have, what do I do with that binder? I have so much stuff laying around I can't find. Okay, I'll come back to that one. I have for my higher functioning CVI student, he's also an MSD student, but he does go into the classroom more. I've been using this app a lot with him. It's called UDoodle. I don't know if you can see that. It looks just very, can you guys see that?
When you turned it sideways, we could see it. I don't know.
Well, anyway, it's a really cool.
Go back to your right and angle left. That's when we could see it. Nope, to my right, your left. Now angle a little bit right and come closer. Now we can see it.
Okay. So this app is really good. So you can modify worksheets to make the visual clutter. You can kind of eliminate visual clutter, but we're working on like salient features, and he uses his communication device to like describe salient features. So this is just a picture of a dog, and you can highlight anything on the picture in red or different colors. This app is really, I use this all the time. It's really useful. So hopefully y'all can see that one. Then I have, the power link. And I have, with one of my students, she really loves, we have these, Christmas lights, and she uses her, the Big Mac red large switch to activate the light. So again, CVI color, lighting. If I'm not having her use it for, if she's not activating it, sometimes I'll activate it and I can use the lights to work on tracking, visual guided reach. She'll reach for it and things like that. Then I have a black, Emily Johnson had one too. I got it at one of the trainings. I don't know what I did with it. The little black binder. Oh, here it is. The black binder, again, to introduce pictures or items. The black absorbs or eliminates visual noise and lowers visual complexity. And you could make a book with different items and work on concept development, contrast, high contrast. And then last, I just put assorted like Mylar things. I have a bunch of pom-poms, a pinwheel, BVI friendly colors. And yep, that's it. Anyone have any questions?
I love it. I think that those books came from Mary Catherine when she presented to
Okay.
you, right?
I'm not sure. It's the day I had to stay late with Katie, and I was
Yep.
like the last one there, so I got all the free stuff.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
And the Christmas lights plugged into the switch. That's such a great idea. Good job. Okay, Macy.
You don't have to make me a host because I'm just going to share my items also,
Okay, perfect.
if that's okay. So I will start out. I have everything scattered everywhere also. So starting out, I just evaluated a student with Miss Angela Powell, and this was stuff that I had in my CVI kit. So I just took it out of my car and brought it in here. So this is everything in my kit, actually. So I have black gloves that I love to use. So like to blend my hands in so they don't distract the student from what I'm trying to show them. I know that sometimes like we want them to look at our hands with like the lighting gloves, but I think this is a great option so that our hands can actively be in the picture without it causing so much visual distraction for them. I have a little red, it's a fire truck, I believe, but I use this a lot for visual tracking. I'll just roll it across the table or let them roll it across the table depending on their mobility function. So it is red, it has some yellow at the bottom and at the top, and it has purple wheels, so it has lots of color. So it's very visually attractive, and I'll use this to see if their eyes move, or like their pupils, if they like bounce when they're tracking it, or if they smoothly move across. So I really like this tool. Well, it's not really a tool, this toy. Try not to let it roll off my desk. So this was working, but my student that I just tested broke it. He dropped it on the ground. But I have more, but this is just the one I used today. So it's a globe kind of wand with a light in the center. And when you hold the button down, it has like a little switch on it. When you hold the button down, it spins really, really fast and it vibrates at the bottom. So you get multiple senses, and it also lights up. So it lights up, it spins, and it vibrates. So the student is able to use multiple senses at a time. It's also cause and effect. This button's really small, which I not necessarily a fan of, but anyways, it is cause and effect, so they can get that sense into. If they can't manipulate it themselves, it's really, really, really good to use for tracking,
for scanning and just to get their attention because you can move it around, you can pull it into your face and so forth. And it does a lot of, it also had multiple settings. You clicked it once and it did like a solid color. If you clicked it twice, it did like a strobe kind of situation. So also the PSA of being cautious with seizures, but really love this tool for CBI. I have a little, well, maybe it's a handheld mirror, but it's the unbreakable mirrors. Like it's like I don't really know what that is on the inside, but it's not glass. So they can throw it, they can do whatever they want with it, which is really handy for the littles. And you could use this, so working on their facial features, working on being able to spot different parts of their face, so like their nose, their mouth, whatever. My student that I have that does have CBI, not that I evaluated last, I love, 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 love using this alongside of Miss Rachel because he loves Miss Rachel. And there is a video of her, or I use like the recording of her doing, okay, show me your lips, do this with your lips. And he loves holding the mirror and watching himself do what Miss Rachel's doing. So that's my favorite thing to do with that one. I have a yellow sensory ball. It has spikes all the way around it, very bright yellow, and it also reflects the light pretty well. So it's a stress ball, so you can squeeze it in the palm of your hand and it hits all those pressure points that are really, really good. So if you have a student that is CBI and maybe they stim from their CBI, like they like to move around, I have found that holding something like this even does help them to stim less, maybe a little bit, because they're stimming in a different way that's less distracting. But also, this is another tool that's really good to scan, track, and do all of those fun activities, and even checking their muscular balance in their eyes, like pulling it in and pulling it back out, and doing all those evaluation tidbits. So this is really fun, and to let them like roll it around the floor and find it in that area. I have a little red bird puppet that I made with one of my co-teachers. It is a red bird and it has an orange beak, and the inside of his mouth is white. And he has little googly eyes, so they make noise when you shake him. But my kids love this, and I love to make voices with it and play along with them and different things like that. And it's really, 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 really fun for them because it's bringing life to a creature, I guess, kind of situation. But I can also maneuver it myself and put it where I want it and do like the scanning, tracking, their shifting gaze and different things with this because it animates an object and not just like an object itself, having it moving around. And I also like this because they like to have free time and like to maneuver it themselves. If they are able to, I have a student that loves playing with this puppet and making all the fun voices with it. So that one's fun. I have an ice pack. I stole it from my sensory kit also. So using multiple senses, and it's hard like we talked about already. CBI struggle with using multiple senses at a time. So maybe practicing maybe them holding the ice pack while doing something that's a little more visual. So maybe strengthening those different sensory channels and maybe working on being able to use multiple at a time and not just so focused on one. I also have a reflective pom-pom that we've talked about earlier, and it's yellow and it has the reflective pieces in it also. So it's gold reflective pieces and then just yellow reflective pieces. And it also makes noise when you shake it. Really good for all the shifting and the tracking and the scanning and just being able to spot in different areas of the classroom. Let's see. I have this make and take that we made at one of our cadre meetings with Miss Angela Powell. It is a black background, so it's like a black piece of cardboard, and we laminated it with matte lamination. But I thought this would be really cool for a student that's a little more higher functioning or CBI that's learning Braille, or maybe they are lower functioning. This could give them like a multiple sensory area, but it's a black background and it has 6 of the little to-go sauce cups and they're aligned in a Braille cell. Inside the little sauce cups are a button and a pom-pom, and they're different colors. Like the pom-pom and the button that are in each cup are the same color, but the different parts of the Braille cell have a different color. So like 1.1 is pink and it has a pink pom-pom and a pink button. 2 is blue and it has a blue pom-pom and a blue button. And these also come off. So it has multiple sensory intakes, but it's also the black background so that they can maneuver those. It's a good way to practice their Braille skills without actually doing Braille itself. So that one's fun. It also makes noises when you shake it. So it's a good thing for that. I have this switch button thing that looks like a clock. This was in the CBI closet at the primary school that I didn't know existed until like recently. So it's been a treasure that I found, but it's a black, to me, it kind of looks like a clock, but it's a big circle at the top and it has a base. On the base of it, there is a big yellow button that looks like some of the switches that you would typically see. When you hold the button down, it spins and plays lights. Well, it has lights and it does music. And as soon as you let it go, it stops. So it's a really good cause and effect tool, but it's also really, really good to get their attention, to have them look in an area that you want to. I use this a lot with the shift gaze and trying to see how far they can actually shift their gaze accurately when testing for the FELMA section. But this is really fun. All of my kids, no matter CBI or not, love to play with this. One of my students says it sounds like a Beach Boys movie because it's like the beach theme kind of sound, I guess. I don't know, but my kids really, really love it. When it spins, it does green, blue, and red lighting. So this is really fun. Lastly, I have a black apron. So when I go and test my kids, if I forget that I'm testing a CBI kiddo, that I have black so I can declutter my clothing. So that's my last one.
Macy, is there a name of that little yellow fan button, the switch, the yellow switch toy that you have? Is there a name on that somewhere? I'm trying to find it on the World Wide Web.
Enabling devices. It
Oh.
says Magical Light Show. Therapeutic device.
I found it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love it.
$200.
Well, it was in the primary school VI closet. So the last VI teacher left all kinds of stuff, and I was gifted it.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna copy it and put it in there for all of you all. Maybe if you have a wish list.
It would be good to put on your crusade grant.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much. I don't think I said the next person. What about Dr. T? What? She's disappeared. Let's go back. Teresa. And then if Dr. T comes back, we'll call on her, and then Tracy. I'm just going, I know it's not organized this way for you all, but I'm just going down.
We are in your head right now, so we'll stay there, and it's a fun place.
Well, it's a sad place, but thanks. Okay, Teresa, you ready?
I am ready.
You gonna show items or your presentation?
I have the items right here.
Okay.
And I did most of these items you guys have already talked about. So if you don't mind, Misty, I can just like boom, boom, boom through what I got.
Sounds good.
Okay, I do have a similar box. I think Deanna showed it. This one I just made out of a Xerox box and then taped and glued some Velcro or like felt inside there. And then I used to, back in the day, had a light that I would Velcro to the top of it. So it would illuminate whatever object I had inside there. I've got throw cloths. This one's a little bit more complex. I would use a black felt for my less complex throw cloth. I do have this book. I didn't see anybody else had it, and I don't know the name of it, but it just has a bunch of very simple, high contrast, probably well-known items to the student. Like these are pop beads, a crayon. And I used to use these a lot like kind of as a visual warm-up before my lesson. So I would grab maybe one of their favorite ones. Well, this one was my favorite one. And have the students do a quick vision warm-up with illuminated it in the light box before the lesson. I've got some garland, shiny garland, just like all y'all have. I got my light up ball wand thing. I did put some bubbles in here. I know the bubbles are kind of really hard to see sometimes, but it is a really fun way to help like look at their students' ability for tracking, and who doesn't love bubbles? In this big bag, I've got a bunch of little trinkets, like these shiny bells. In here I've got, and all of this stuff is Velcroed. So I have a bunch of little blocks that you could set out in the student's field of view and see if they can find it and reach for it. I also have some poker chips, which are a little bit more difficult to grab off of a felt board than the blocks. So depending on the student's fine motor skills, you could try those. Oh yeah, I did put this in my slideshow. A little wind up duck, or not duck, chick thing that'll bounce and jump across the board and is also high contrast. Oh, of course, the slinky, gotta have the slinky. And then I also took this from my office. The CVI complexity sequence. This is by Dr. Roman. And I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but like, let's see, let me try this one. There's some very simple images of different sizes. So maybe they could see and identify this as a dog, but even though it's the same picture, they're not identifying it in the same way. Can you find the dog in the park? They slowly add more detail to the pictures so you can see just, how much complexity is a factor with the student's vision. Can you find the dog now? And there's, I don't know, a ton of these in here. I do love this kit. And I think that's everything.
Thank you, Teresa. They have an app for that now too, right? The complexity sequence.
I think so. I should find out though.
Yes, they do. And I think it's free.
Yeah. So they used to not. I took a picture of every one of those cards and created like my own little like picture on an iPad. And then of course they created their own, but I love the box that you created yourself.
Yes, I did. I love that box.
Great. Awesome job. Thank you. Anybody have questions for Teresa? Okay. Okay, Dr. T is having some internet issues. I figured when she froze up and left. So we'll go on to Tracy and then Alyssa and Audrey. And then Lainey. Is that okay? Oh wait, Dr. T's back. We'll let her see if she comes back all to us. So Tracy, Alyssa, Audrey, Lainey, Dr. T. Okay, go Tracy.
Okay, so when I go to share, it says you can request multiple percentage.
Sorry, hold on. You're
No
now
problem.
ready to, sorry. You should be able to now.
Okay. Sorry, it fought me for a second. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay. So we don't need to see that. So I basically had done where I kind of grouped some things and I'm hitting all the wrong things and it's going all over the place. Okay. So with this, I just have, of course, the red ball that, we won from Misty. And then the light box, I've used the light box with one of my students with CVI, where we are working on matching the object to the realistic picture. So I print the photo of it onto the transparency paper, and then we use that on the light box for him. So, and actually, I say I'm using that for him, but he graduated because he did such an awesome job with that. So now we're using the actual photo and not the light box. And then, of course, I have the flashlight, kind of like everyone else. So, because we want to be able to highlight things. And then I have the black cape and the black trifold board to use that as the background and to use the cape to cover if I have colorful clothing on so that it doesn't interfere with what the student is focusing on. And then this is what we made while we were in person. And like I said, aside from being fun, it allows for that much needed movement that we need sometimes. And then I have the sparkly or shiny windmill and the slinky that doesn't look like that now that my grandson had gotten a hold of it. My husband tried to fix it, but it has the light, the push button light in there. So all things just to get that movement and draw their attention. And then, sorry, I'm looking at one screen because I can't see everything on this one. I have the swirly mat. This, I have to say, aside from what everyone else has mentioned, I have a student with CVI who also has major problems with his fine motor, and we're working on enlarging and decreasing the size in the Notability app. And I've had him do, where he puts his fingers on mine and we're doing the hand under hand. But when I got this out in that contrast, whoa, that totally helped us for him to get that motion. And he was zooming and zooming in and out. And we had a big celebration. And then this is just a binder we have it has all different types of photos in there. And it follows that progression for the 2D images so that, you go from the realistic to the hierarchy. I have it in here, but going from those realistic color images to the abstract color images to realistic black and white, and finally those abstract black and white, or what we call line drawings. And then this next one. So before I went, I added a link into the chat because the link I have it linked right here, but the same student that I was using to try to get that enlarged and increase and decrease the zoom. I went down several rabbit holes to figure out what was going on with some of the things going on with him, and he didn't have that spatial awareness. And they're working on with him, letters and numbers and things. So using the salient features I've used I started with these bigger ones here, where I would build the model as I'm talking him through what I'm doing and talking about the salient features. Here's the curved line, it's here. And we went through all of that. And then you move to him using the 2D model, which we've also taken the photos of those into his Notability app so he can increase the size and see them. And working with the magnets. And the next step, which he's not quite there yet, is using those letters to be able to build the letters. And that's, the whole thing is kind of focused there. And then I have one more slide that I added that Misty didn't have because I kept not being able to get a picture of this, but the student that I was talking about, that I've talked about several times with all the collaboration, the PT had ordered this Peapod chair, which he can sit in. I wish I had a picture of him in it, but I didn't have permission. I didn't, do the whole permissions to have him in there. But it's like a double layer PVC system. So in the front, it has where we can hang different things. And then there's another one behind it so we can put the black curtain there. And we're working on his visual, using that visual reach and touch. And he is beating the crud out of these balloons. He loves when we beat him with the balloons too. But then over here, you can see that's one of the books we had been working on. There was an old lady who swallowed a chick. And so I had putting these cords on here, and I have little hooks so we can hook things, but like things like the balloon, and I had a bunny rabbit and whatever. You can't clip to those. So for things that we can't clip to, my husband drilled a bare hole in these little clothespin things so they would fit through there, and we can clip anything to it now. So when he's in that Peapod chair, it puts him at a better angle than when he's in his wheelchair and he tries to loll his head forward. And this has just been amazing. Oh, you can see my trifold board over there too for when we use that. But that is the end of my presentation. Any questions?
Great job, Tracy. I like the balloons.
Oh, he loves balloons. He loves balloons so much. And he loves when we take them and beat him on the top of the head. It sounds wrong, but either we beat him here or we beat on his legs. And he laughs so hard. But this child was zero on the visual reach at the beginning of the year. And now he's throwing things to us. Like he's not just reaching to touch, he's picking things up. It's so exciting.
That's
So exciting.
Thank you.
I love this kid. Can you tell?
Okay, I don't remember who I said was next in that order. So who was it? I feel like it was an A, Audrey or Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Okay.
Yeah, it was me, or I didn't know if Dr. T, now that she's back on, if she wanted to go, or if you just want me to go ahead and go.
Dr. T, you want to go first? So you got some internet for right now? She says yes. Okay, thank you, Alyssa, for being patient.
My internet's acting up, guys, so I just want to make sure it's gone out 3 times. That's what happens when you live in the boondocks. All right, I'm going to share with you my items. My first item out of my box is a small djembe. I have several of these. I work with more higher level CVI kids, and I find that being able to drum and rhythms, follow rhythm, auditory, rhythms where we can work on tracking where that auditory sound is coming from and repeating the rhythm. It also is good for kids for learning syllables and words. I found that a lot of kids will do auditory drumming. They'll do drumming when they won't do so many other things because of the feedback, and the vibration is so awesome. I have a lighted mirror, which I put in my presentation that I also can represent, but it isn't a light box. But this is a very cool thing because a lighted mirror, there's all sorts of fun things that older kids can do, especially, they really like the idea of tattoos. So you put a little tattoo on a lighted mirror. So this is around you and they can kind of get the idea of where they need to look. It attracts them. And then you can put like a little tattoo so they can put you can say put the tattoo on your cheek or put the tattoo on your forehead, and they get to pick what they want for their tattoo, and then their concentration is bing. It's pretty cool. And of course salient features, all those things. Of course, like everybody else, with all the wonderful, and I think I listed about 10, 15 at many different levels for CPI. There's so many apps. A lot of them do cost money, but I mean, if your school district is paying for some of that stuff, it's a real good deal. Of course, I have the black cloth like everyone else for high contrast, and actually, I'm using a towel in this instance because sometimes the texture, and you can get all different kinds of textures in towels nowadays with the bumps and the smooth and the prickly kind. Talking about textures, so one side of this little cutting board, when you talk about bumps and grooves, the other side is smooth. And then talk about contrast, but also what would you find in life that's bumpy? Can you name some things? So really get into the vocabulary on all the textures. Then for auditory tracking and for building rhythm, I have my little homemade.
Oh, we lost her again. I was hoping she'd come back. She froze earlier and came back. Okay. So maybe Dr. T will come back in a little while. Alyssa, I hope she knows she's frozen. I'm gonna text her. Okay, Alyssa?
Sure, yeah. Oh wait, did she come back on? Oh, nope. Okay. So I'll just explain that way we don't have to worry about sharing or anything. Um, okay. So the first thing I had, like many people, I had just like plain black cardstock. Just so that you can use that to help like black out any borders or place something on it to have a clean place to reduce visual clutter. And then, of course, the red nose to draw attention to the face that we got in our in-person. This is really cute, a little finger like puppet. And so you just like can have this and try to help with the student for visual tracking to find the monkey. And I just thought it was cute and little. And then also with same as Emily, I had like different color post-it notes. And I figured that it could be for like outlining things or also like a certain color could be kind of like the placeholder. Like you could put it somewhere and it'd be like a placeholder for like where they should turn in work or where to put something or trying to put something in a spot. And then having different colors depending on the student's preference. And then I also included, I've just been calling it crate of things, even though it's not really a crate, but the thing or mobile, I don't know, the thing that we made in class. So it has lots of the CVI preference colors. It has the noise with the bells, the pinwheel that's shimmery, the disco ball, which is funny because I just had this sitting over here and I was like walking and like the light kept like shining and hitting it and I was like thought it was like a ghost for a moment. I forgot I was sitting over here. And then like more ribbon and stuff like that. So all the things that we made, I like the little bead corner too. And I figured like it may be overstimulating for a student. So maybe just like a certain like section or letting the student explore to be able to find what interests them. And then and like also what just happened?
We can still see you.
Oh, okay. My whole thing just it was like went for an update and my whole screen went black. Okay. So yeah, like that way this could be like a thing to explore to see like maybe what colors or like type of items that your student is drawn to, I thought, since it's kind of a lot going on. Um, and then I also have like, because I felt like I had a lot of red, because I also have just like a plain one, so it's just more simple and it's kind of like reflective as well. I have the red, and then I also have this like yellow tool as well that I figured could be like cut or could be like kind of like wrapped around. I don't know. You can do lots of things with it. You can cut it, you can use it for visual tracking or just also another CVI friendly color with that. And then I have a light up giraffe toy, and it also makes noise pulling it. And you have to be careful because it does light like different colors. So you want to make sure that they aren't have like seizures. So making sure that's okay. But I like it because it can kind of get the attention of a student. And I also think it's cute and makes the noise. And they can maybe even try pulling it too. And it also sticks to like the table with the suction cups. So it could like stick in front of them and they could try to reach for it. And then I don't know. So this I like too. And this was actually in the people that got the traineeship grant. They give you like they send you in the mail this giant box of all these cool things to use. I mean, not necessarily can use with our students, but maybe elementary kids. But I did find this toy in it and I liked it. It's called the calming tube. And basically, it's like these marbles and they're red too. So they go down like that and down the tube, and then you can flip it over and then they go back down too. So I just thought that that would be good because it is high contrast and it also kind of makes noise. Like you can hear the marbles going down. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but then once the noise stops, all the marbles are at the bottom. So then kind of trying to get them to move it and then seeing those marbles going down, which I don't know why it's getting stuck. There we go. So if you got the traineeship grant or getting the grant and you get the big box of things, this is in that box. So you can
That
have
was not in my box. That was
it
not.
wasn't?
No.
Melissa,
not here.
this is,
Okay.
I had no clue where that stuff came from. I was like, did I go to a training and I signed up for it? Thank you for letting me know. That's where it came from.
Yeah, one day it just showed up and I was like, what is this giant box? But there's some pretty cool stuff in it. I was like, this is not bad. But I just wasn't expecting all that. And then I have just a couple more things. I had like pom-poms, so kind of making noise, flashing, and I wanted to have like a light and a dark color. So that's kind of also contrasting and just variation as well. And then the last thing is red, and it's like a shimmery it's a heart ornament, but I thought it would be good because it like reflects the light since it's sparkly and it's also red, so you can kind of draw the student's attention that way as well. Yeah, I think that was all my items. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, thank you, Alyssa. Great job. Okay, Audrey.
Okay, so I'm outside because my kids think it's playtime. So, I have a lot of the same items as everyone else. So this is my first one. It's actually a light box and I use window clings on it.
Hey, Audrey, it's Misty. We
Yeah.
can't see it because your background is blurry.
Oh. All right, well, hold on. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Then it acts like the screen lights up.
Awesome.
So I use that, and then I have a black, just a black shirt that I just throw on like over like my t-shirt or whatever to make it not so cluttered. And I have a pinwheel. I actually have my really cool pinwheel that my daughter broke, so I put tape on it. And then I have some Mardi Gras beads. I have some different themed lights that light up. And my one little girl with CBI, she loved looking at these. I got the red nose and a flashlight, a black piece of paper to contrast your items. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Oh, shoot. A black box. It's like a black box I keep all my stuff in. And then how do you change your background?
If you go to video and under select camera, it says blur my background. You can click that off. So video and then unclick.
I only see stop video.
I don't know. You're doing good. Keep going.
Okay.
You can click the little up arrow next to the video.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I don't have an up arrow.
It's okay. You're doing a great job. You just keep going, girl.
And then my next one is a black mat. Trying to get it in focus. And it has red and yellow.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
Oh my gosh, Ella. Red and yellow. The shape sorter. And here are my shapes. And that's my kit.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you.
Okay, Lainey, then Emily Bishop. And then that's everybody, right?
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, Dr. T's back. Okay, Lainey, pause. We're gonna let Dr. T keep going, okay?
Okay, all right. So I've got really, really, really bright lipstick, which is really fun. But it stays on too long is the problem. And then it's called a Hibben ball. So it's for sensory stimulation. So the kids, if you say where I'm rubbing this little prickly ball on you, it creates a magnetic pull on the minerals in your blood. So it brings the blood to focus and it really helps with visual reach because they like this and you can say reach this far and I'll massage you and it's kind of cool. It adds a couple features. Then I have
It's Tracy. Sorry, where'd you get that?
If you go to, it's called a Mag Boy. I got it on Amazon.
Thanks.
And of course, anyone, this has the blinking light, which you wouldn't use of seizures, but you can use this light, and also the children can use this light as they concentrate on stuff. And that's really cool because they can scan and find. And of course, different color gloves, which everyone's talked about already. I kind of like this mat because you can contrast it and put new words or pictures in the middle and have that high contrast. Then of course the flashlight with 5 different colors, as well as the flickers that of course you wouldn't use, but different lights. And I'm talking fast because if my internet goes out again, I'll scream. And then this is really kind of a cool little thing, you know, you can have just a little kitchen pointing stick because it's got all of our really cool CVI colors right there for pointing. And you know, they can't destroy it, so they could beat it on the drum that we had before. Makes a really good sound on the drum. And then we've already had somebody talk about glasses, but decorating glasses is a really cool thing because along with that red lipstick, you can get quite a cool effect, right? You can with your, and I just have plain magnifiers that I decorate. And so that different Mylar things, different things you can put on it, beads hanging on it or whatever to attract kids. And that's it.
Yay, we did it.
Did it.
Thank you. Okay. Hey, Lainey.
I feel like I'm just repeating what everyone else is. But I have a black mat. I also have a black, I don't know if you can see, I might be, I might be,
See it.
is okay?
Yep.
All right. I have different material for different, complexity after you do the solid backgrounds. I won't unfold all those, but I just have, some different options. I do have some shiny beads, and I don't have them in my kit. They must be at school, but I do have pom-poms. I have pom-poms of different colors. So, you find the preferred color. I have gold, I have red, I have green. Let's see. Oh, Macy, I have the thing that you had that didn't work. I do have that. You guys can see it, which is super fun. Actually, I've been sitting here, I've been entertaining myself with that too. I have a slinky. Trying to think things I might have different. Flashlights. These flashlights, they light up, but they also have the kind of like the lightsabers. I have a green one, I have a red one, I have a blue one, I have finger lights,
Lainey, where did you get those flashlights?
Vips. Vips
Will you
have,
ask, will you ask Vips where they get those flashlights?
I will find out. Yes, I'm fine to let you know. I have a mirror. I have 2 different size mirrors, and a lot of this is used for visual assessments because you're a first steps provider. You're going to have littles that you're going to go into their house, and something that everyone has told me, it's like if you do that, if you go and do an assessment in a child's house, and they have a light up toy, use theirs first. Familiarity, and and then you can see how they react to the stuff that you have. I do have a black and white book. It's very simple, no visual clutter. There's some red pictures inside of it. I have that. I have some stacking cups, which is good, especially, like for fine motor. I have toys where they can sort them. I have green toys. I have a bag of yellow toys. I have a bag of red toys. So that's something you can use. And I think that might be it. I don't think anything different than anyone else did, but that's it.
Thank you, Lainey. Awesome job. And last but not least, Emily. Thank you.
Okay, so at this point, it's just a repeat of what everybody else has. Let me unblur. Hang on. Okay. I have a black apron in my kit. And the day Angela Powell came to help me do my very first and only CVI evaluation student, I realized the importance of this black apron because it was Valentine's week. I had on like a bright pink sweater and big heart earrings, and I'm like, oh, this is too much. But anyway, I have the same little toy that lights up, spins, and vibrates. The same black book that I think a couple of other people had that you can use for many different things. I actually disassembled part of my mobile that we made the last in person just because it was a little overwhelming for some students. I have the disco ball, and I have one strand of the red beads, but I had the entire thing, but I just wanted to disassemble it a little bit. Red nose. I have a flashlight. Ooh, it's bright. And I have a reflective, this is a reflective back scratcher, but I mean, you can also use it to have the student feel things as well, but it's just kind of reflective with a little paw at the end of it. It's just something a little different that, allows a different sensory experience.
It's Tracy. Where'd you get that?
Actually, somebody in my office gave these away to all of us as Christmas gifts. And I'm like, ooh, I could use that for many things. Um,
Amazon. Those are on Amazon.
are they?
Yeah.
I have also this black storage cube that I keep everything in, but it's just, again, it's a black storage cube. And the last thing I have, this is like part one of two. This is a bottle of essential oils. Again, it's for the whole sensory experience, but if you pair it with an orange, you and your student can eat the snack too. So, I mean, it's a big bright orange. We can eat it. It also smells good. And that's my sensory kit. Or not my sensory kit, my CVI kit. Sorry, I was just mixing the two up there for a minute, but
Good job. I like that you used the disco ball by itself too. That's nice. You could even put do you have the red strand of beads wrapped around it? I'm looking at your picture online and
oh no, I actually just took the whole thing apart. Now on the
okay.
mobile, I had like lots of red beads, but it was a little overwhelming, I thought. So I'm like, let me take them apart.
That is awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Anybody have any questions for Emily? Putting in your grades. Okay. All right. Let me go back to seeing everybody's pretty faces. Here's everybody. Okay, so everybody presented, right? Yes, I'm going to unhide your scores after we get off here so you all can see your grades. You all did so well. So I had planned on doing something else tonight too, but we didn't have time. I had asked a couple of your classmates to bring a scenario with them to class so we would talk about it. But we didn't have time to do that tonight, but that's okay. So next week is our last official class because the week after that is reading period. So apparently you all aren't supposed to be doing anything on reading days. I don't know. That's all new to me. I think it's the same as Dead Week as what it was when I was in college, but I don't know. So next week.
Wait, hold on. It's Tracy. Sorry. What?
So reading days is Thursday and Friday of not next week, but the week after. Okay. So apparently reading days, you're not supposed to have class or assignments or I don't know. I'm still learning about it. So next week would actually be our last official class. So instead of class, what we will do, if you all complete your teacher evaluations for me, class will not be mandatory. You can come, I will still be there, and we can go over some scenarios that you all will use for your final. That would be an example of your final. But if you don't want to do that and you feel like you got this, then don't feel obligated to join me on Thursday if everyone completes their course evaluations by Thursday.
See, this is Lainey, and when I click on it, it says none. There's
It will not open up till the 21st.
Okay.
So in 5 days. So if you could complete it between the 21st and the 23rd, so in between those 2 days, that would be, but it usually doesn't take too long to complete it. Those are very important feedback for us. It is looked at by our people above us. And so I do value your all's feedback too. This is the first time of me teaching this class, so I would love to hear what you all have to say and what you think about it. It has been a
Really never takes too much time to film out for you.
I
Just saying, no, what anyone disagree with me? Look, no one disagrees.
Well, I have really enjoyed teaching this class. It's probably my favorite class I'll ever get to teach because this is my favorite subject, and you all are all wonderful teachers, and I'm so proud of every one of you all going through your CVI kits tonight and watching you all utilize all these wonderful things that I've taught you or given you, or just makes me want to tear up. I'm so proud of each and every one of you all. So, you all are going to be tired of me after the summer because you're going to have a lot of us. But I know you all are going to go on and do great things. So, do you understand about next week? Yes. Teacher evaluations. So then what will happen is Thursday night, I will open up the final after class, okay? It is just 2 scenarios that you all will complete. And you will talk about respond to what you all will do using some of the strategies that you've learned in class, okay? So that it's like you're getting a new student or you're doing the evaluation and this is what's happening. You've come in, what would you do? Okay, 2 students. There's no multiple choice questions, no true or false. It's just applying what you've learned, okay? One other thing, Brandy had to leave early because she had an activity that her kids were performing in. And she was disappointed that she wasn't going to be able to see everyone's presentations and what they were doing. So she asked if you all could share your presentations with her. So what I'll do is I'll open up a discussion board, and if you all want to upload your presentation to the discussion board, that will also give the opportunity, if there were links in there or other ideas in there, that you all can share your knowledge with your classmates. Does that sound okay?
Yes, but did you record this?
I did not record it because it's all you all talking and
okay.
not, yeah. Okay, any questions? No? One more thing before we get off here. I have some exciting news about one of your classmates. Olivia, would you like to share your news?
Sure. I got my job. I got a job as a TVI for next year. I'll be at Breckenridge Franklin Elementary. So I'll be a lot like Alyssa, only at elementary. I'll be a resource teacher for visually impaired students. So like teaching Braille and all kinds of things. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited.
Yay, I'm so excited. Olivia, thank you for sharing.
Congratulations.
But
Very exciting.
we found that out Tuesday for everyone except Deanna and Teresa. So we already congratulated.
You already knew.
Oh, okay. We're just late to the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your
That's
fault.
okay.
You're not in that class. But I'm glad Olivia could share with you all tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's in the loop now.
There we go.
All right. Well, you all, if I don't see you on Thursday, have a great rest of the semester. And did I say Tuesday? Thursday. I don't know what I just said. If I don't see you all next Thursday, you all have a great semester. Even though school, technically UK will be out, I'm still a resource. We're still around. So feel free to reach out if you all need anything, okay?
Sorry, it's Tracy. When will the exam, the final, whatever we're doing, when will that open?
I will open it Thursday night after class.
After class. Because, I'll be there for the review.
Okay. So whatever time class gets done, I will open it. Yeah, so it'll be, and Tracy, you can check it and tell me if it's you can open it or
I
not. Okay?
will. I'll let everyone know it's okay or it's not. It's my job.
I
My job. I
appreciate
feel obligated.
it. Yep. Indiana, I have enjoyed seeing the lake behind you. This
Oh, that's a river. Yeah, I'm at my mom and dad's house today.
It's
So,
water.
yeah, yeah, we don't have snow. It's gone, so hopefully for good. I still have some patches in my backyard, but yeah. Yep.
Alrighty, well, thank you all so much. And you all have a lovely night. I'm going to open up the discussion board before I walk away from my computer tonight. So if you don't mind to share your presentation, I would appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.